Welcome to Magic Moments with the Medicare Professor. Thank you for tuning in today to learn all about Medicare. My name is Patricia Ann Mitchell, Patricia A. Mitchell, owner of Mitchell's Advisory Group or Magic Insurance Agency. Mitchell's Advisory Group insurance consultants consist of myself and my husband, Gregory Mitchell, who are the owners, and we have a team of professionals that are ready to serve and help you find the plan that fits your needs. So stay tuned for more information about the Magic Insurance Agency, and we're going to be reviewing the Medicare and You manual. So if you need to pause this video, please go and get your Medicare and You manual, and we will be using the 2021 version. Thank you. Mitchell's Advisory Group was founded in 2015. However, my husband, Gregory Mitchell, and I started in the insurance industry in 2007 when my grandmother passed away. When my grandmother passed away, my mother, who was the oldest child at the time, received a letter from CMS, Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, sent a letter stating that the state of Othodine-Pickett, my grandmother, owed $39,000 to the state, to the federal government, for her care while she was receiving Medicare and Medicaid. We did not understand why she had a bill because we assumed that Medicare, whatever Medicare didn't pay, Medicaid would pay. And so I called CMS, called Medicare, called Social Security, called DFACS, and all of the jargon that they were telling me went over my head. Now, I am a retired school teacher of 27 years, and one of my clients deemed me, he said, "You are a Medicare professor," because we teach our clients all about Medicare. But as an educator, we didn't understand what they were saying. So they said something about the Medicaid Recovery Act. The Medicaid Recovery Act, Georgia was one of the last states to participate in the Medicaid Recovery Act. And it states that if you have assets in your name when you are put into one of the places it relates to, the Medicaid is the nursing home. My grandmother was put in the nursing home, and when my uncle signed the papers to put her in the nursing home, that released her property in the event that something happened to you to the state. So they were going to put a lien on her property until that $39,000 bill was satisfied. So I searched and searched, I called and still could not understand how this could be happening. For my grandmother and grandfather were sharecroppers. So my grandmother didn't own any property until after my grandfather had just died. And she was 65, as a matter of fact, when she owned her first property. And so I was not about to let anyone take her property. And my sorority sister and I she said, "Come on, Pat, we're going out for something to eat. You need a break." So we went out to Longhorn Steakhouse here in Savannah, Georgia, and there was a gentleman there having a Medicare meeting. I stopped him as I heard him talk about Medicare, and I stopped him and I asked him, I said, "Look, I've got this dilemma where CMS, these people sent my mother a bill for $39,000 and my grandmother's dead." So he said, "Yes, that happens all too often and people don't understand." He pulled up a chair and sat down and schooled me on the difference between Medicare and Medicaid and all about the Medicaid Recovery Act. Thank you, Mr. Clark. Hopefully you'll see this message. You are a super intelligent man. Now, Mr. Clark was an estate planner, and he was, at that time, an administrator with one of the companies we worked with. He didn't charge me a dime for that information. So right there was a lesson in service, because he who gets paid for this saw me in my distress and was able to help me understand that I needed to get a lawyer. I needed to get my grandmother's property appraised. So I had to get an appraiser. And once the lawyer certified the appraisal, he mailed off those documents to CMS. And about 2 weeks after, they wrote us and said, thank you, you don't owe us anything, because grandmother's property appraised under $25,000. And so I know that it was not by chance that we met this gentleman. It was not by chance that we were in the right place at the right time. And when I called the gentleman to thank him for his advice, he said to me, and I told him, I said, I make a mean red velvet cake. I will bake you a red velvet cake. And he said, nah, I'm working on my figure. I need to work on mine too. But he said, I want you to come and work with me. Come and work for me. And I said, me, I'm a school teacher. I'm working on my doctorate degree at the time. I don't have time. I had 2 children at the time, and my husband was working as a police officer, part-time, off-duty jobs. So we had a lot going on. But I cried. I went home and I cried because I missed my grandmother. And he told me, he said, before I left, he said, your grandmother is blessing you in her death to help other people learn about Medicare and Medicaid. He said, you're going to be one of my best agents because of your teaching background. You're able to help people understand this. And he said, this with master's degree, a specialist degree at the time, it was hard for you to understand. So imagine how Medicare eligibles, the elderly and disabled, feel when they get to this point called Medicare in their life. And so his words, he spoke life into me. I went home and talked to my husband, and he said, well, we always wanted to start our own business, so let's do it. We took the class, we passed it, then we took the state exam, and my husband passed it the first time. Me, it took me 2 times, but that's okay because I am a perfectionist. So at that time, God wasn't through with me yet. So I had to go back and take it again. Now, I know all about this manual. And so in these series of videos, Magic Moments with the Medicare Professor, you're going to learn about this book. This is where we take our clients to learn all about Medicare, because it's not what Patricia said that keeps her safe. It's what Patricia and the client read that keeps us safe. So stay tuned for Magic Moments.